What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome to the Warframe video. So, we've got Helminth Trin today, and I've got two actual setups for you. Technically three, but I'm not actually going to fully commit the resources to the third one for what I actually want to put on there. So we have basically a 2-in-1 ability for two of the builds that I would actually switch out for one of the other builds. So, before we get into it, make sure you sub to this channel and hit that bell for notifications so you know when all these videos go up. We got videos coming out every day. And yeah, also check out the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Gaz_TTV for some streams for a week. There should be a stream later today. Alright, so let's get into it. For Trin, we're going to have two different abilities we'll be going over. It's two very different play styles. One of them is going to be focused on basically like survivals and stuff, and just like general mission gameplay. And this, you can technically use this for Eidolon fights as well. So we're going to be having Shooting Gallery from Mesa. That's going to be the second ability from Mesa, which will stun enemies in an area. And it will also give you a damage buff. It will also give one of your teammates on your team the same stun and damage buff. So this will replace her first ability, Well of Life, which we already have plenty of healing from our 4. So we don't really need a second healing ability with Trin. This will also give it damage reduction. And we're also going to be running the Abating Link Augment mod for her 3. So basically, if we're in survivals, the enemy is mega screwed if we get close to them, because when our 3 is active, they will be giving us damage reduction. We'll have damage reduction from our 4. They're getting 82% of their armor removed, and they're also going to be stunned, and we're damage buffed. So in survivals, we are disgusting. We can also restore energy if we want to. So here's the build I'm going to be showing first, and then we'll show the DPS build after that, because Trin actually kind of can do some DPS work now with the help of the new Helminth Marked with Death ability, or Marked for Death ability. So for the front lines Trin build, we have Rolling Guard, so we can basically, if we ever get in trouble, we didn't instantly cast our 4, we can roll to stay invincible for 3 seconds and remove status effects. And the rest of the stuff is just basically duration and power strength, with a little bit of range, so we can actually stun enemies that are 23 meters away. And we can also link to enemies that are 20 meters away, removing their armor. So Abating Link right here is going to reduce enemy armor by 45%, and that scales with strength. So with 183% strength, it is 82% armor removal. That lets us keep our corrosive damage bonus if we are running a corrosive melee weapon. And I know you might say viral's better. Well, you know what? Viral's not better when you already have 10 stacks of viral on them with a new core or something like that. So to min-max your damage against armored enemies, you want corrosive on your melee and you want viral on your status applying condition overload secondary. So let's quickly show it here. I'm not going to hop on any gameplay. We'll show some gameplay of the DPS build. But yeah, these guys probably won't even be able to hit us, honestly. So I used my 2, or rather I used Mesa's 2. That's now on Trin. I use all this stuff. Enemies are stunned. If they shoot me, it's not going to take. They're not going to take much damage from me anyway, if they can even attack. So there we go. How much damage is that? It's probably like 10-ish damage. We are also using the Panzer Valpalaya, which will have a video in the future. But basically, it's a mini Saren. You want to make sure you recast your abilities. If you get low on energy, you can always cast your 2. The Energy Vampire, and yeah, they are pretty much just sitting ducks, and they're fully like they're very softened up by the Abating Link. So with Shooting Gallery and Abating Link, it's going to be like you are just basically a melee monster. It's a very good melee Trin setup. And my melee weapon of choice on Trin is the Sylvan Aegis Prime. If you don't have a Riven, just put on Prime Fever Strike in that slot, totally fine. And it will, the corrosive and the heat, it melts dudes. So really, really good stuff there. The Kuva Nucor, you can just do a heat Kuva Nucor, Toxin, Magnetic, they're all fine, guys. And you're going to want a status build on there. So that was the first build. That was the front lines battle support Trin. And like I said, I don't really do Eidolon fights that much anymore. So I put on Shooting Gallery for the Eidolon fight build as well. And you don't really care about the stun at all for Eidolon fights, but it will still give you a damage buff for you and your teammates. If you were to fully min-max and go in here, I'd say go with Smite Infusion or Roar from Rhino or Oberon, respectively. So Oberon Smite will have the Smite Infusion Augment mod, which will give you increased radiation damage on your weapons. And I've got a build I have not looked at in a while, so that is like an Eidolon build right there. Hunter Adrenaline, this is just I'd like to run Hunter Adrenaline for Eidolon fights personally. I know it's not actually meta at all, but I also like Natural Talent because I'll usually be carrying people, and I just want to make sure I can cast my Blessed at max speed. So that's the suboptimal Eidolon build. Like I said, you can use Shooting Gallery totally fine for Eidolon fights on Trin, but you might want to run Smite Infusion instead. All right, and here's the EV DPS build. So I have the wrong polarity in this slot, so you can just run a different mod in this slot. But the general gist of this is that, did you know, I said this in a video a couple months ago, but did you know that when Viral got reworked, it applies to all damage on the enemy, and EV, Energy Vampire, does true damage. So, yes. Marked with Death, Energy Vampire, Viral procs. That's all I have to say, right? That's all I have to say. So let's do it in this simulacrum, and we'll show a Steel Path mod gameplay briefly, where I don't even have a melee weapon equipped. Alright, so here are the unpaused heavy gunners and whatever they're called. We're going to get some Viral procs on them. And there you go. Now, that's not going to... You're not going to be... This is not the actual resurrection of DPS Trin right here. Back when we had the Kastana situation going on, this is not as good as that. Let's just be completely honest here. This is not the return of DPS Kastana's Link Trin. It's not as good in mission. I'm just going to say it right now, this is line of sight affected, marked with death. And you need to Viral proc to get this stupid stuff going on. Also, it's very easy to misfire where you fire your EV. So as you saw right there, I hit the wrong enemy. Let's get rid of that proc. Now I hit the right enemy and they're all dead. So I find EV kind of annoying to aim sometimes in missions. So let's just quickly show it on Mott where I don't even have a melee equipped. And yeah, we'll see if you guys like it or not. So here we are in Mott with just a Kuva Nucor that will get 10 Viral procs on the enemy. See, I've already misfired the EV there. So yeah, it is not perfect, but it is still pretty good. There you go. There's a nuke right there of the area. Now, marked with death does scale with range, and it scales with strength. So on EV build, you have range and strength. So and you also let me explain how this works. So Energy Vampire, I'm just gonna go over like the nitty gritty of this ability. The nitty gritty of the ability Energy Vampire is that it does a pulse of damage of the target's maximum health per second, which is true damage. And the way that this ability has been is if you have negative duration, the amount of pulses and damage all just get condensed down into one, like really quickly, basically. Like it just makes all the damage happen all at once. So it's really, really good. So you want negative duration on your EV Trin build, and you want high strength and high range. Range is for the Mark for Death. Also going to be good for restoring overshields to you and your teammates, because remember, this is a support build. A support nuker build, if you will. And yeah, if you want Mark for Death, just make sure you're targeting the right EV target. I'd say, yeah, Viral proc them first with a Nucor or whatever Viral procer you're using, and then use the Mark with Death first ability, and then use Energy Vampire, and then there you go, you're nuking the area down, and it's real fun. So, hope you guys found this helpful. I did die in this mission, I'm pretty sure. But if I wasn't just like memeing around with just a pistol, and I actually had my Sylvan Aegis equipped, it would be much better here. So, yeah, this is pretty nice. I tried it, like I said, I tried it in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, but right when I spawned in, there was a Volt and a Saren spamming their abilities, and they were killing everything. So I didn't even have a chance to kill anything. So you're not going to be out killing Saren, because like I also mentioned, this is Mark for Death is only affected by line of sight. So if an enemy's on the other side of the wall, they're not going to get hit by this. So that Saren and Volt can kill stuff through the other side of the walls, as can Equinox and all these other characters. So it's not like I say, it's not like Kastana's 2.0. It's good though. And it's a nice little gimmick for Trin, because I don't like her Well of Life ability. Even after the change, it's useless to me. And yeah, this has been a thing. Rather, EV Trin has been a thing with the Viral procs ever since Viral was reworked. I think that was in like February or March. And yeah, it's just a standard EV Trin build where I had the wrong polarity, so I'm running Vitality because why not? And there you go. You don't need Growing Power. Any aura mod will do. And just you basically go max strength and as high range as you can fit on here. I put Overextended on here. I didn't like Overextended because it reduced the strength a bunch. It would give you a bigger radius, but make sure you're not running any duration mod. You actually want to run Transient. If you maxed out Transient Fortitude, it'd be even less duration. That's good, actually. So you want, this is actually suboptimal, the build I have on here, max out Transient Fortitude for less duration. Okay, guys? And I'd say Overextended is not worth it, but it's up to you if you want to try it out. So either way, I'll talk to you guys next time. Hope you found this helpful. more videos coming out where Helminth builds, and like I said, there's other abilities. I'd say the two that I like the most are Marked for Death and Shooting Gallery. And then if you were to do a full Eidolon min-max build, you'd do Smite and Fusion on your first ability. Or Roar. Peace out, guys.